What is your greatest power? That's our topic for today. My husband, you won't see him. You'll see me.
You'll hear him. Right there talking.
You'll hear him.
Pink shirt.
He's going to continue with this topic.
So what's your greatest power?
Well, for me, my imagination.
For you, huh?
For me.
This question.
This question is for everybody.
It's for everybody.
But I'm answering it from my perspective.
I know. But
because it's my perspective.
Well, let's see if yours will change. In the Bible, right? In the Bible, and you don't have to be religious. Well, I'm using this.
I've never read the Bible. Go ahead.
I know, but let's still.
I'm letting our viewers know because they may not know that.
No, you've read the Bible. You've read parts of the Bible.
Oh, parts of it, but
Right.
I've never read the Bible. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, you've read the Bible.
Not the whole thing. Only
Well,
certain.
we're not talking about the whole thing.
parts.
We're talking about just reading the Bible.
Okay, go ahead. So what part of the Bible are you referring to?
The beginning of the Bible,
Okay.
like in the beginning,
In the beginning, yes.
God said,
Let
what
there
did
be
he say?
light.
And you said you haven't read the Bible.
That's a
See?
story that most people know.
God said,
Let there be light.
and
And then someone turned the switch. No, there was light.
what kind of Bible are you reading? That must be Bible for dummies. as our daughter would say, for dummies, what?
Doesn't such a thing exist?
I hope not.
I think there is the Bible for dummies.
Really?
Anyway,
I've never heard
continuing.
of it. It's the same Bible.
It's just a joke. We did that as kids.
Oh.
God said, let there be light, and then someone would flip the light switch.
And they probably did. They're called the Elohims. Anyway.
Indeed.
And there was light, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he said,
Let there be heavens and earth. I don't know if the. I don't
that
remember
works.
the,
No, the ghetto version. That
the
works.
ghetto version.
Right? Let there be.
The heavens and the earth.
And?
And then there was land, and there was sky.
Okay.
An ocean.
Then?
He made the creatures of the sea.
And then?
The creatures of the land.
So, what does that tell you? God is all powerful, right?
Right.
Well, what did he just do?
He created different things.
Created different things.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Right?
And then, farther down in the Bible, it said what? Or it's written,
Let us create man in our own image.
in our own image. So what's the image of God?
And God is a spirit, so we're all spirits.
What's his biggest power?
Creation, creating things.
So, if we're made in God's own image, and what he does is create, even though he created this, then he created us in his own image, what's our biggest power?
Creativity.
Right? We're creators. We create. Now,
Okay.
all of us do except you, because you said that's not yours.
Mine is imagination.
Yeah, so-
But isn't imagination creativity? Because I'm constantly creating with my
I'm going to get
imagination.
technical about that. See? You're out of the picture. Just,
I'm not
No, but
included
you're
in
right.
this video discussion here.
But you're right. Imagination is the key to creativity, right?
Right? But I know so many people who say, oh, I'm not creative. I'm just logical.
Right. That's how I used to think.
Uh-huh.
Because you're convinced that to be creative, you have to be this.
Work from one hemisphere of the
Exactly.
brain versus the other,
Exactly.
and they
Right.
come up with these great things.
So I was very convinced, and then when
And
I was
creativity is
younger-
normally related to artistic abilities.
Exactly. When I was younger, I studied everything I studied was science. You know, physics, biology, chemistry, math. You know, that's how I was interested in language arts and history. Who cared?
But you were still creative.
Not according to me though, because that was all scientific stuff. I needed proof, just like I still look
See?
for proof now. Get the
Looking
point?
back though, I got the point, because looking back though, with all those programs you created with computer programming, that's creativity.
But I didn't see it that way because you have to be logical to create those. It's all logic.
Got it.
You understand?
Logic-based creativity.
But you have to be really creative because there are a lot of mathematical formula that go into it. You know, how everything is going to fit. You do have to be creative, you're right, but I didn't see it that way at the time. But getting back to our topic. So the greatest power of any human being is what?
Creativity.
Creativity. we are creators. So the question becomes, if we're such great creators, why is it that so many people are miserable?
That's a very good question. A lot of people ask that question.
I don't think they ask it that way because they don't think that they have the
No,
power.
but they ask, my life is just one bad thing after another. I was just born into bad luck. I've heard people say that before.
So let's get into that. If you are if your power, your biggest, your greatest power is what?
Creativity.
Creativity. Then what are you doing most of the time?
Creating.
You're creating. The question becomes, what are you creating? So let's get into that.
Yes.
Right? You and I were having a conversation not too long ago. We were driving, we were going to the store, and I told you how you probably didn't notice, but I stopped using a certain word, a certain line that I used to use all the time. You remember what that was?
I don't get it.
Exactly. Right? One of my favorite things was if I looked at something and I didn't fully understand what it was, or if someone told me something and I didn't fully understand what they were saying, I would say immediately what?
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Tell me again. I don't get it.
By saying I don't get it, I realized that what I was doing was limiting what rightfully belonged to me.
Oh, because you're not getting anything then.
Exactly. By me saying I don't get it, then whatever is rightfully mine that is coming to me never gets to me because I already proclaimed it. I don't get it. So it goes somewhere else. We're constantly creating, and then we wonder why our life is a certain way. But if we think back, we recorded a video earlier about baseline, right? It's very similar because that's based on emotions. Here is based on our thinking, the words that we're saying, the spoken word. As we always said, there's something called the science of the spoken word, which are decrees. Remember, you and I talked about that, about me saying that and why I stopped saying it, right?
Right.
Because I realized, no, that's something I should definitely change. And now instead of saying, I don't get it, I say what? I say, please explain that to me again.
Right, please explain it again, or yes, different ways.
No.
But it's mostly please explain it again.
Please explain that to me again. Or will you please repeat that?
Right.
That's how I say it now. We're all creators. So look at your life, see what you're going through, and then pay attention, go back and review, just review the words that you're using. We have a video about the power of words. It's the same thing. Very
We have a
similar.
video about co-creating.
Exactly. Because it goes back to you are made in the image of God, and because God is a creator, the Bible opens up with God creating, which means that we also create. Now, everything that God created, and remember, it even says so in the Bible, it was written that what? And then God said, it was good.
Yes.
After he did everything. And he said, it was good. So he didn't say it was bad, which means that everything he created was
Good.
good. Can we sit down and honestly say that everything we've created is good?
Oh no, not me.
Now, why do you say that?
Oh, because in my life I've created a lot of bad things.
You mind giving us an example?
I used to be sick a lot, which is an example I gave in a video, and the one that comes to mind is when I was in high school. I had strep throat three times in one school year, and during that time of my life, it was very challenging. And I would always say, oh, I'm sick of this, I'm sick of that, and just constantly saying, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick. And I was sick a lot. Stomach aches and headaches, and besides the strep throat. So I created that.
Now
I created everything, right?
You created that because you are a creator.
Right.
Now imagine sticking with that, you tell someone, you make me sick. Look at what you just did. You've given someone the power
to make you sick.
To ruin your health. Right? You give me a headache, or you did all we're doing is we're allowing someone to take away our power of creativity and allow them to now do what they please with our lives.
Right.
Because you decided you don't want to create anymore for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Let somebody else do it for you. See how that works?
Yeah. Yep. You know, even someone who's getting the word bullied, right? They're getting bullied or picked on, or someone's being really mean to them, and they say, you know, I don't want to be around that person. I'm afraid every time they come near me that they're going to hurt me. I'm afraid that they're going to do something to me. Well, if you're always afraid, then yes, you're going to constantly live in fear, and you're giving that person power over you.
You're
So you have to
allowing them
change
to
it.
create in your world instead
Right.
of you creating. You're also creating in your world, but it's not a good creation because you're allowing them to do it. You're literally backing off. Saying, you know what? Let me not create. I'll allow you to create for me. You do what you want in my world.
That's right. I'm going to let you make me scared. I'm going to
Exactly.
let you make me feel these different emotions. But no, it's you. You're allowing yourself to do that. Change it.
Now,
That's the key.
you wind up hating the person, calling the person a bully. But the question now is that person really a bully, or did you make that person into a bully? Because you can turn that around,
Right.
right? You heard the story I told our kids last night. They were cracking up about when I was younger. But you have to know that there's nothing out there that whatever you want, you can create. Whatever it is, you can create. That's the power that you have. And that's why there should be no worry. No, you shouldn't have any concerns about anything. There should be no fear. Because you know that you have the power. You are made in the image of God. And God creates wonderful things. He never fails at creating. Whatever He creates, they happen. Well, you can do the same thing.
Okay.
So now, let's get into that some more. I've heard people say, I can't stand this, or I can't stand that, or I can't stand you. If you notice anyone, I don't know if you know individuals that use those phrases, but the individuals that I know like that, notice something. They either have problems with their feet or with their balance.
Their knees,
You notice that?
their hips.
Because all of a sudden, what happens?
They can't stand.
They can't stand.
Because they've proclaimed it so much. Oh, I can't stand it when people do that. Oh, I can't stand it when I have to go and do this.
All right. So
And proclaimed it on
anybody
themselves.
watching this video, if you know anyone that uses that term, pay attention to how they have ailments that affect them standing. All right. That's just the way it goes. Now, pay attention to your language. Pay attention to what you're creating
Yes.
and see how it's affecting your world. Because, for example, if, let's say you're married, right? We gave that example in the previous video where it went from me just going out by myself, and next thing I know, I'm having an affair and all this stuff. I'm sneaking out, and it's not even real, but so that turned into something that
It
was pretty much real.
escalated.
Right? Exactly. So, imagine though that in real life, here is a married couple, and even just a relationship. They don't have to be married, right?
Right. Just any
But
relationship.
one person starts to think that the other, let's say they saw the person talking to somebody, or they see a text message, I love you, and it's from a female, right? Is there something wrong with a female expressing love for a male, and does that mean that they're having an affair or anything like that?
No, it doesn't.
But people take it that way, right? So what have they done? They've created a world where when they see the words, I love you, it means what? Or they mean what?
Romantic relationship.
Romantic relationship. So I couldn't say, for example, Younghwa, who is my older sister, you know, I'll talk to her and say, I love you, and you hear me say that, what are you going to do?
Nothing.
Hit me over the head or something?
No.
Oh, okay. Right?
Even your other, your second wife, as I
Exactly.
call her, Jackie.
Right?
Tell her all the time, I love you.
Exactly. But that doesn't mean that we're going to go do something we shouldn't do.
That's right.
You know, it's an expression of love. I do love them. But some people take that as, oh, there's something
There's
else.
a romantic relationship there.
Creation. The power of creation, we can take it to the extreme. See that? Other examples. I know that we've had people, go ahead. You're going to say something.
I was going to say about creating good things in your life. You know, people create negative things in their life. Oh, I can never seem to get ahead. I never seem to be able to get anywhere. I go 2 steps forward and then 1 step backward all the time. And they're creating that in their life, that as soon as they start to get ahead, it's like self-sabotage. You start to get ahead and then, something bad's going to happen now because it always does. Well, you've programmed yourself that way.
And then they say what? I knew it.
I knew it. Just my luck.
So I say that they're psychics. They don't think they're psychics, but they are, because they knew exactly what happened.
They predicted it before it even happened.
It happened.
It happened.
I knew you were going to have an affair. I knew it. I told you so.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Guess what?
I knew if I let you drive the car, you were going to crash it.
You created it. Because you are made in the image of God. You are more powerful than you think. And the more you keep putting things out there, the more they're going to happen.
Right.
So if you're worried about being possessed by you have attachments or possessions, it's going to happen.
Right.
Because you are creating it. And then you wonder, why am I having attachments or possessions?
Because you're bringing it on.
Exactly.
You're attracting it.
Like, I don't want to go out there because those people are possessed. Well, how do you even know they're possessed? And even if they are, that doesn't mean you'll get possessed or get attachments.
Right.
Because you're not paying attention to it, and you'll be fine.
Don't lower your frequency, or keep your frequency high, is what I should say.
Or just create a safe environment. Be the creator of a safe environment instead of creating one where you are susceptible to attachments or possessions. I know I have individuals that have contacted and said, well, these people are coming over to my house. What do I do now? Well, just invite. That's fine. Just all you do is do what you normally do. Why would you be concerned about it? Well, they might be possessed. Okay. Why are you projecting possessions on them in the first place?
Exactly.
Be nice to the people. If you think they're possessed, then change it. Take the possessions off. Then you say, well, I don't know how to do that. Well, just imagine it, right?
Exactly. Create it.
That's how we create positivity, right? Your kids, or people and their kids. I knew that you'd be a failure. I told you you'd fail. You'll be no good. I told you you'd be no good, whatever.
You projected it on them.
Exactly.
You programmed them for that.
You created it.
Yep.
We are powerful creators. One of the ones that I find most fascinating is when people say things like, what you use mean words to me, or you sent me a mean message, or what you told me is just terrible.
Things You're not
like that,
very
right?
nice. You're always talking. You're saying bad things to me.
Okay, but I was talking more about the messages themselves, not even the people.
Right. The messages are interpreted as being bad.
Right. We've encountered people where they got a text message, and then they'll say, that was a very mean text message. How can a text message be mean? They're just words.
Right.
Right? They're just words. It's all about how you interpret it.
And where are you putting those emotions? Where are those emotions coming from for you to put behind those words when you didn't hear them? You didn't hear what the person was saying.
You're creating. You're a powerful creator. Got it? So that's why you have to be careful what you're creating. That's why you have to be careful what you're thinking. You have to be careful what it is you think you're fearing, because it probably doesn't exist. And so what you do is go ahead and rewrite, as you said in the earlier video, rewrite that story, because you shouldn't be afraid of anything. You should be looking forward to anything, because you know you can overcome it. Whatever it is, you can overcome it. Now, examples of good things. How do you create positive things? Well, for example, you say things in a positive way. That's it, plain and simple. Instead of earlier today, you tell me about a dream that you were having.
Yes.
Remember that? Or, in the dream that the person told you were going to be sick or something like that?
Right. Because I coughed in the dream. The person in the dream, the manager, she said immediately, oh, that's how it starts. You're going to be sick tomorrow. Just wait and see. You're going to have what everybody else has. You're just going to be sick tomorrow. So you may not even want to come in. I was like, after I woke up, I said, okay, I'm going to change this. I've got to go back and change this, because I don't want that energy on me. So I changed it.
Well, how do you change it?
Well, I went into do a little bit of meditation, and when I was doing that, I played back that scene and I turned it around and I said, no, I have perfect health. No, I won't get sick is what I told her. I have perfect health.
Next time, don't say, okay, right, just say I have perfect health, right? You don't put a no there, just...
Right, well, I told her, no, I won't. I will have perfect health. Or I have perfect health, however I said it in the dream. When I went back and did it.
That's what you do. You don't like it, you change it. Mm-hmm. Know that you're made in the image of God, which means you have the power to change anything that you don't like. Plain and simple. Mm-hmm. You can change it because you don't like it. If someone's misbehaved, they're behaving in a way that you don't like, then change the behavior. So how do you change it? If someone's screaming and shouting, then what do? Find a way to get them quiet. How about you just ask them a simple question? You say, are you alright? How are you feeling? Guess what they do? They stop. Because they have to think a little bit, and then the shouting stops. And now they're talking to you about how they feel. And if what they're going to say is negative, like, I feel terrible and this and that. Oh, well, why do you feel terrible? Go into that. See, get them to change instead of listening to that sob story about what's going on. You don't help anyone by listening to their sob story. That's the term, right? Sob story.
Right, sob story, yes.
If you think you're doing someone a favor by having them talk about the things that they're going through that are negative, you're not. What you do is you want to get them to change it to something positive. You know, right now I'm really mad at my sister. And then right there say, oh, why are you mad with your sister? Oh, she did this. Oh, okay, well, what are you going to do about it? How can you make it positive, right? You don't continue on gossip. You don't want gossip.
Right.
You want to give them a solution. Create something positive. And you do that by taking an individual like you did in the one story with the lady at the store, and you told her, well, at least you have a job.
Right, when she was complaining about having to have to work that day.
Exactly, right? So we always want to change, and we could do this with strangers. We don't have to know the individuals. As a matter of fact, it's even more gratifying because they're people you don't know.
Right.
You know, and then that way they will, if they're open, they'll listen and they'll be like, okay, I understand. We've had so many individuals that come to us with relationships they're struggling with their relationships, right? And by the time they're done, they get to appreciate their partner. Things work out for them. They have a different perspective because they created something different.
Right.
But they have to be open to it. You as a creator, you have to know that what you're going to create now is good, as God said.
And for your benefit.
Good. Exactly.
Okay.
Anything else you want to add?
No. This was a topic that you brought up, so I'm glad we discussed it. Hopefully it's helped many of you out there. Feel free to share it with someone that you think it might help as well. Like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook at Clearing Healing and Guidance, Instagram and YouTube is 190 Vision, as well as our website 190vision.com.